say something.
You taping?
Yeah, man. Get it home. Put that in everybody's comments first.
Major's always
Say
talking
you.
good.
Fuck the Navy. How about you?
Same thing.
How about you?
Hello, Ma. Hello, Pa. Hello, Leroy's girlfriend. I want you to look at me a big 10 inch, baby. How about a date?
What's wrong with you, son? Bossy. You started a disaster yesterday. Tell me something about it.
Does this mean I lose my gold medal?
Nah, I mean you're gonna get one. Da, 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 da. This is the engineer on the microphone.
Crowd around.
Okay, one little pug.
What's happening, man?
Senior man in each area take the word back to people who are not here and maybe standing watch. Just have a couple of things I want to put out today. One of which is I'm very proud of all of you for responding to the general quarters for the explosion that we had in the fire room yesterday. I think some of the OPI training that we went through paid off. And everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do and on time, as far as I can see. It was a rather shaking experience for those people who were on watch down in the fire room. They did their job. The captain put out the word that we're going into Yokosuka. It's my guess that we're going to be there for 5 to 6 weeks. It would be 6 weeks plus if we were in San Diego. The Japanese may work quite a bit faster, or could work faster than the people who work in San Diego, in which case it could be as little as 4, but I would plan on 5 to 6. The reason why we're going to Yokosuka instead of to Guam or Subic is because if we were to go to Guam or Subic, we would overload the shops that have to do this kind of work. The only other water explosion that I've been involved with was that on the Liddy McCormick, and theirs took 6 weeks with National Steel working 3 shifts a day or 24 hours around the clock to take it apart and put it back together again. I think our damage is extensive, and we've had indications that it goes all the way to the top of the MAC, so it will be no small job. It will probably wipe out a lot of other work that will be going on in the fire room or cause a lot of interference. For the other spaces and divisions, it gives a chance to get a lot done that we haven't had a chance to do for some time. For the BTs, we'll probably have to stand back for a while they're taking everything apart. And as it starts going back together again, we can plan some maintenance. I'm not sure how much we can do down there in the meantime. Yokosuka happens to be the home of Commander Task Force 75, which is an admiral. And during the time that we are there, Group 3, our own boss back from San Diego, one step above the Commodore, will be in Yokosuka, and I'm sure we're going to have visitors. And the visitors are probably going to wonder how the explosion happened and give us some help in trying to figure that out. We're probably looking into other areas as well. It's one of those things that happens every time you have an explosion. Just to dispel any rumors that some of the other ships started, some of the rest of the ships started yesterday, no, we do not have a cookout every time we have a boiler explosion. I've been asked that twice or 3 times. It's not a Navy tradition. I do plan, though, when we get to Yokosuka, to try to find a classroom that we could use to do some systems training in more of a classroom environment, something like what happened during overhaul. We have some new people on board, some people who are shifting watch stations and moving around, and it will give us a chance to do the kind of training that we don't have the chance to do otherwise. The only other thing that is really coming up in Yokosuka, for sure, is our 3M inspection. It was scheduled for the first week of June. If I have anything to say about it, I'll hold it the first week of June or after. It's not my intention to have it moved up on us, though it could happen. Therefore, we have some turning and burning to do to get our PMS up to date, plus the admin part. This inspection only affects the engineering department this time, and ER 09. So, work center supervisors, take a look at your boards. If there's anything that I have to sign or do, then come and see me, and I'll take care of that. If you have things that have to be rescheduled, or you feel it should be rescheduled, based on the fact that we're going to be hard down in the Oko for a period of 4 to 6 weeks, then make those reschedules. If you want me to sign anything, then bring it to me. Other than that, we have a lot of people or a significant number of people who will be getting out soon. And some people who have put in chits asking for particular times to get out that you have not seen come back. And I'm the guilty party. I've held on to them because, for instance, when Sonicson was here and when a couple other people were here, I said with confidence that we were going to allow them to go at a certain time, and then I had to renege for good reasons, maybe some of which could have been foreseen. I don't want that to happen again. If I tell somebody that they'll be able to leave the ship on such and such a date, from now on, I don't plan on reneging that date. You can consider to be good. That's what I want to do. So anybody who has chits pending to get out, leave the ship, be transferred, give me until tomorrow. Come by my room and we'll negotiate, and I'll let you know what's going to happen. When we left Pearl, or while working up to the Obby, the eyes, hearts and minds of the engineering department were on one thing, and that was to get through that inspection. I didn't really give too much of a care for what the rest of the ship did or how they did it, nor too much of what we did, with the exception of getting ready for that, getting us through that exam. And that's over with now. There have been some comments made to me by some officers and other divisions on the ship, which rather untruthfully indicate or suggest that maybe the engineering department hasn't been doing its job as far as the responsibilities for the rest of the ship. I don't know if you guys have heard any of that or heard about it or not. I've been involved the last couple of days on setting the record straight. If anybody comes and gets on anyone's case in the engineering department, unless it's myself or one of the division officers or the chief, then you may disregard it. If there's anybody who is going to be critical of what we do, it will start with me. If someone from outside the department tells you to do something and it's not clearly an emergency, then don't get into a fight and say yes or yes sir, depending on the case, and then come and tell your division officer right away what's going on. That way I can put a stop to that kind of stuff. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of what we've done. I have no complaints whatsoever with the performance of this engineering department. And quite to the contrary, I'm very pleased. But I have had some indications that maybe some other people on the ship don't necessarily agree with us, and I want to set that straight. So please, if you get hassled as like sounding and security or cold iron watch or duty electrician, and you're told to take care of something and it's not an authorized so-called trouble call or not an emergency, take it aboard, don't get in a fight, let somebody know about it, we'll take care of it. We can take this time in Yokosuka, as I said, and turn it to our benefit and get a lot of things done. We were hassled. We didn't get really a so-called palm period before we left the States. We didn't get anything, or too much of anything for ourselves done while we were in Pearl. We were up to our ass in alligators while in Guam, except for that first week and trying to get out of there. Do intend to try to move back to a more orderly way of doing things while we're in Yokosuka. It's a good place to start. It's a perfect place to start. So we'll be working on some administrative stuff and paperwork, training, PMS, and trying to get the department to where the next ports that we hit will be Liberty. Not to say that Yokosuka will not. Be advised, though, it's an expensive place. Probably be not a good place to hold the engineering party. Anybody who does want to take leave during that time, I will entertain leave chits. Though you might find, like I said, that it will be kind of costly to go anywhere. I'm free and open to questions or complaints, gripes, bitches, or whatever. If you have any, let me know about it. I'm here. Yeah. Anybody have anything?
What next up?
Railroad hats. I've been negotiating for 6 weeks for permission to have these railroad caps. I've set aside $40 of my money because I promised you from when we left the States, as soon as I could get permission to do it, I could buy them. I found out that they were far more expensive than when I bought my last one, which was 95 cents out of the Sears and Roebuck catalog. So I don't think my $40 is going to go all the way. But I will donate quite a significant amount. I've asked the supply officer. He's not sure that we can spend the money for them out of OPTAR. As soon as I have that permission, possibly while we're in Yokosuka, I'll see about getting it. Anything else?
What next up to Yoko?
Sorry?
Our schedule is going to be affected.
That nobody knows. We everything that it could go either two ways. One is that whenever we come out of Yoko, we'll pick up where we left off. Or we'll come out of Yoko and they'll decide to change everything. We really can't say, and we probably won't know for up to a week or two. All of the planners all over the Pacific are busy diddling around with our schedule right now to see what it is that we're going to do. It is kind of unfortunate because it looked like we were going to escape and not be going to the I.O. for the deployment, or at least it was beginning to look that way. We have a special piece of equipment on board that was put here to support Chief of Naval Operations Special Project. As far as I know, we're the only ship that has it. For that reason, they want to use us to do some research into the special gear. And that's what was keeping us out of the Indian Ocean. It might be that while we're in Yokosuka and not able to do this job for the CNO, they may come back and take away this gear, in which case we could possibly go south. I could see where possibly those people might feel that coming out of Yokosuka, our material condition should be pretty well squared away, and that we would be ripe meat sent to the Indian Ocean. I'll let you know as soon as I know. Anybody have anything else? Yeah.
I've heard that we had some coveralls in the logs and get them in the hole.
Those are for asbestos. We don't have a place to put them, and I don't think that they're. I haven't opened any of the boxes yet. I don't know if they're cloth or what, but there are special kinds of coveralls for asbestos removal. So I'm going to hold them intact until we have a major asbestos rip-out. We've had coveralls on order for 6 to 9 months, and the supply officer is going to be checking on the status of them. They're well on overdue. While we're in Yokosuka, things that we haven't had that have been low priority shipments will probably get to us. The coveralls may be part of them, but we'll find out while we're there. I think it was rather timely that the captain made a comment yesterday on the 1MC about the fire hoses. The HTs know that the situation is getting pretty serious. We've ordered, I think, 15 more. We don't have any spares. You all know more than anybody else on this ship what the danger of fire is. And if you see anybody dealing with our fire hoses, let somebody know. We will take care of them. It goes without saying that if we had a fire along with our explosion yesterday needed some of the hoses that have been cut, we would have been in pretty bad shape. They're playing around with yours and play around with everybody's lives on the ship when they do something like that. If the engineering department is